All right, Wayne Allyn Root with the great Bill O'Reilly. We have him on Mondays and Wednesdays right here on the Wayne Allyn Root Show. Bill, how are you? Welcome back. Hope you had a great weekend.
Thanks, Wayne. Appreciate it. I don't remember the weekend, but I think it was good.
One of these weekends, I'm going to press you. You've got to remember something. Let's talk about Trump's weekend, because Trump's weekend was eventful, right? He's out tweeting again, and he tweets something. And my question to you is, how damaging was it? It was Trump against AOC and her team that's been attacking Nancy Pelosi. He should have left them alone, right? It was Democrats attacking each other. Now he's turned it into them all united attacking him. And he said they should get the hell out of the country if they don't like it. I don't really mind that sentiment. But do you think they actually hate America? And do you think he damaged himself with the tweets?
It's a calculation he's making. Newt Gingrich said this morning that Trump understands the blowback that he's going to get by criticizing these 4 congresswomen. But he believes that most Americans despise the far left. And he wants to create a him versus them scenario, which he believes will help him in the election. So that's why he's doing this. Plus, Trump is Trump, as you'll find out in my upcoming book, The United States of Trump. He gets bored, and he has to throw hand grenades to liven things up. That's just who he is and what he does. He doesn't really care a lot about unintended consequences. Now, maybe that's foolish. Certainly the press gives another reason to brand him a racist. But the bigger picture is now, and you can see this if you read The Hollywood Reporter today. The Hollywood far left is now basically saying, if you vote for Trump, you're a racist. That's going to be the new far left mantra. If you vote for him, you support him, you stick up for him, you defend him in any way, you're a racist. So that's what's coming out of all this.
I don't know if you saw the polls, but I know they all try to claim that Trump's unpopular in the 40s. But I saw today that AOC is at 7%, and 22%, and Ilhan Omar is at 7%. So the media never mentions that. So I think if you're in the 40s, which I still don't really believe, I think Trump's in the high 40s or 50s. But if you are in the 40s and you're picking a fight with someone who's at 22% and 7%, I think you stand a pretty good chance of winning. So Trump may be right with this calculation.
Well, certainly he believes that the voters that he could persuade despise what's going on with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And there's another factor. He wants to put Nancy Pelosi and the mainstream Democrats like Biden in that corner. He wants them to defend Ocasio-Cortez and Omar, whatever. He wants them to start defending the far left. So it's a chess game. Dangerous game with all the racism stuff floating around. Morgan Freeman, I was surprised to see him come out today and call Trump a racist. I've always had a little bit of respect for his intellect, Freeman. I didn't like that. I don't think you should do that, but it's coming. That whole racist thing is coming.
Let's hear what you think, because, I mean, I only know Trump from opening speeches for him. I spoke to him each time for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. I don't know the man. You know him a little bit, at least as a friend. So my question to you is Trump a racist? What do you personally believe, Bill O'Reilly?
Well, all I can tell you is what I am writing in the book, so that I take all the accusations against Trump by the media that hates him on the racist front. And then I dissect them. All right. So the birther stuff against Obama, Charlottesville, Virginia. We don't have time to get into it because it's a sophisticated analysis, a lot of facts. But I will tell you 2 things. I've never heard Trump ever disparage a minority group in any way. But he does say things like S-hole countries to describe primarily black-run nations. So if you're African-American, you can say, well, it's a racist statement. You can say that. But I've never heard him say, well, I think whites are better than blacks, or I think whites are better than Asians, anything like that, ever. Okay? But he doesn't have empathy Donald Trump does not have empathy for minority people in the sense that he says, now you have the same opportunity as whites. Seize it. I've given you a good economy. Seize it. He doesn't buy the slavery thing. He doesn't buy the victimization. He doesn't buy the grievance industry. So when you have that kind of cut and dry approach, he does leave himself open for those charges.
All right, quickly, one last question about the weekend ICE raids. Trump says they were successful, but it's probably not a good idea to announce them in advance. And from the media reports I've seen, just a handful of people were arrested, so it does not seem like they were successful or lived up to Trump's hype. What do you say?
Well, the president says that we don't know about how many people taken into custody, which is true. The story for me is two prongs to the story. Number one, all of these people were told by a federal judge to turn themselves in for deportation. So their flight, they said no, they didn't show up. They had to march. So there's warrants out for their arrest. Press will very rarely tell you that. Number two, an amazing array of Democratic politicians basically say, we're not going to obey the law. We're not going to obey those warrants. We're going to try to help illegal aliens under deportation order to evade it. That's anarchy. And that you could make a case is breaking the law itself. Now, when you don't have a media holding anybody accountable in that area, you don't hear much about it. But I think it's a pretty darn good story. And that's what I would have done had I been President Trump rather than the floor Congresswoman.
All right, more wisdom always at BillO'Reilly.com. We thank you for coming on the show and appreciate your insights, Bill. Thank you.
Okay, Wayne.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest-growing news channel. Newsmax TV is now available for free on your smartphone. Just go to your iPhone or Android store and download the free Newsmax TV app. Then you can watch free TV news with an American spin anytime, anywhere in the world. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.